Where the hell have I been? Where the hell have you been? I wanted to see what it was like to take a little bit of time off, and do some things that I wanted to do instead of things that I felt like I had to do. And, you know, I'm so happy right now that it doesn't feel right, like the world doesn't feel right, because the world is kind of garbage. But I'm a lot happier than I used to be because we don't have control over the entire world. We have control over the little thing that we call our own lives. Sometimes, maybe. And yeah, there's no team of Russian scientists on the planet who've developed instruments that are sensitive enough to test the full girth of my happiness right now. I might just keep not making videos, but maybe there's a way to stick around and do things. Because, you know, I'm kind of done with this chapter of my life. This is what my friend used to do all the time when he was drunk. So what I want to do right now in this video is just say what's up, see how everybody's doing. I want to talk about some of the stuff that I've accomplished here, and I'm talking like, you know, home studio stuff, but also like home lab stuff. And I want to tell you a few things that I'm working on. So first thing, I've been wanting to make a video game for a while, but I'm, I guess, a bit more verbose. So it was difficult for me to actually write the video game because I was having trouble keeping it concise. And it turns out that the easiest way for me to keep things concise was to do the exact opposite and put as many words into the game as possible. So I have turned the game into a novel, and I'm about 30% of the way through. So that's like 30,000 words or so, 28,000 words, maybe a little more than 20-30% of the way through. And I'm writing this super fast. Like it's really, I don't know, I guess I enjoy it. Maybe it's going to be awful, but I'll tell you the premise right now. It's set in Appalachia, because I know Appalachia, and it's set in a small town during the Satanic Panic. Things are going crazy, and all the townspeople are coming for the group of nerds who are like the metalheads, computer nerds, and, you know, the people who play Dungeons and Dragons. And they think they're all demon possessed, but it turns out that there is something afoot. It is a little bit supernatural, and there are demons out there, and they may or may not be attacking who you think they're attacking. So yeah, it's going to get a little bit Lovecraftian, a little bit weird, but it's also kind of a dark screwball comedy, sort of in the same zany vein of the old LucasArts games. But imagine those if they could be rated like, you know, rated R, and a lot darker and a lot more like, you know, just twisted and weird. So it's weird, dark sci-fi with a couple metalheads, a couple computer nerds, people who are really into building computers. They work at a computer shop. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Just putting together the whole town, coming up with the insane characters and situations. And, you know, there's a mad scientist, because you gotta have a mad scientist. I like to think that where I'm going with this is kind of where, you know, Tim Schafer would have gone if he wasn't afraid of going full heavy metal when he was working for LucasArts. Because I saw one of his documentaries, he was like, yeah, I was always kind of shy about going too far into the heavy metal thing, you know, and then he had full throttle, then finally, you know, when it came to the Jack Black game, that just went right out of my head. But that's okay, because somebody in the comments will be like, Brutal Legend, and thank you very much. So anyway, when he got into Brutal Legend, it was finally, yes, but I think I'm going to start right there and just go straight for the jugular, as it were. And then the game will come out alongside that. And this is something that is going to very easily get done, because when I'm not making videos, it turns out I have all kinds of extra time. But that's not all I've done. So I want to talk about some of these things. I don't think I'll make video tutorials on these things, because I'm so happy not making video tutorials, just living my life and doing stuff, which is kind of melancholy, kind of happy. Before I go any farther, if you don't know about the game, I'm putting some footage of it on the screen and all that stuff. I do have a newsletter. I do have a newsletter you can sign up for. If you want a newsletter, I can get one of those too. I don't discriminate against people who can't say newsletter. Head over here to midnightdojo.com, and you can decide what you want to follow. And you can see we also have community projects on there, because I did create a forum. I'm not going to link to it right here, because the forum is it's a forum. What was that? Transition. OBS has transitions now. What in the dickens? Well, that's neat. I guess I must have put a checkbox on something. Cool. So anyway, the community projects thing that's over here. Well, if you've got a community project, let me know and we can talk about it. But yeah, I got all this stuff: music, games, the book I'm writing, and then community projects could be community books or whatever else. But those will all be part of the mailing list that I'll send out to everybody. So go ahead and sign up over there. Link's going to be in the description for that. So let's just have a little bit of fun. I'll talk about all the things that I've done in the short time that I was not here, hanging out with all of you on YouTube. There's so much stuff you can get done when you just take some time for yourself. I know not everybody has that luxury. I do have that luxury because I busted my ass like an idiot and made enough to have a cushion for some months, So anyway, let's just go through. It'll be kind of fun. These are the computer projects that I've worked on. Created a forum using PHPBB. It's for gaming, retro gaming, and old school hardware. That's just a separate thing because I feel like social media is really toxic. The weird thing about that is it's not growing that fast because I'm not talking about it here, obviously. Other than this, I'm not going to link to it or anything, but I want it to be, more organic. I'll talk about it over on the easy mode channel. But that's probably enough for people who actually actively care to go search for it, but you know what I mean. It'll make it a little bit harder, but it requires effort to do stuff on a forum. It's not social media where you just sit there and doom scroll all day and click on the next thing, click on the next thing, click on the next thing. It requires no effort, and you're going to reap exactly what you put into it, which is nothing. It's going to make you feel like nothing. The forum, despite having, not a ton of activity, I've completely ignored all other social media. The forum has replaced that in my heart. And I feel much more fulfilled sitting down and having actual conversations with a small handful of people than I do having access to a gazillion people as they shout into the void to proclaim that they believe this and I believe that and I want to do this and I hate that and this is stupid and you're stupid and who cares? We don't need social media. Anyway, next thing I did was I put together a giant parts list for a Windows 98 PC because I got really frustrated trying to play some Windows 98 games specifically. DOS games work just fine in DOS-Box with all the stuff, and I can even get them working with my physical OPL3 and all that kind of stuff. But there's a window of Windows 98. Like Windows XP, I can usually get working on Windows 10, LTSC, or even Linux. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to just put together a list, and this is what I came up with right over here. Just this giant list of stuff. I'm going to do a build on that. I'll probably put it on here. Don't know if I will or not, but maybe I'll put it on here. I got all the stuff. We'll see here. There's the case and the CD-ROMs right there on the floor. Right there. All the other stuff. The camera's got to adjust. I'll stack this right on top of it. Zipped it in focus. Oh, my autofocus is getting it. There we go. This is an MT100, y'all. I found that at my dad's house a couple weeks ago. I'll tell you about that in just a second. It's an MT32 on the inside. This is an MT32. Yes. Except MT100 has floppy drive. Okay. It's a weird fat floppy, though. And I'm not going to be using it. Anyway, so yeah, started de-Googling my life, and that led to me wanting to de-Microsoft my life because I hate Microsoft Outlook so much. And I've been using it because Outlook 365 for Business is probably the best price for, just having a bunch of different email addresses and domains all in one spot. But oh my God, Outlook is so awful. The web version's awful. The desktop version is awful. It's clunky. It's old. It's got code from the beginning of time that's still there. And the search, if you want to search, just take a squirt gun, fill it full of acid, and shoot yourself in the ear, because that's going to be more enjoyable than trying to search using Outlook. It's awful. So I moved everything over to SmartMail and got all of my domains, all the myriad of domains set up, and about a gazillion filters. So now if something comes in and it's like a music promo or it's like, listen to this new thing on Bandcamp, it goes directly into a folder. It does not go into my main thing. I meticulously set up all those folders, and oh my God, it's so much more organized and clean, and it works, and the search works, and Fastmail just is a million times better than Outlook. Why didn't I go with Proton Mail? I've used it in the past. It's okay. I remember it not being able to work as well as I wanted it to with my 10 different domains and all that. And then I've also used Tutanota. I thought it was fine, but again, just interface was average, whatever. I feel like Fastmail is pretty much right up there with Gmail when it comes to like being very functional, very fast, very well laid out, and it just works. So yeah, Fastmail should have gone to that years ago, but now that I had some time, I did, and it kind of felt like a nice cutoff point for all the Tech Syndicate stuff because I'm kind of focused on the book and the game and everything. So I didn't bring my email messages over. I selected about 100 of them from Outlook, about 100 different emails, and brought those over, but it's pretty much a clean installation. I made a backup using, what did I use? I just used a Microsoft Outlook on my desktop and made a backup and threw it on my NAS, but if I need it, I've got it, but whatever. It's probably never look at those emails again. That'll be the thing. So anyway, yeah, did that. got that all set up. Didn't make a video about it. Felt good not making a video. But if you ever considered moving to another service, Fastmail is really nice. I don't know if I've got like a friend thing where like let your friend sign up and you get $5 off, but if I do, I'll put that down below. I have no idea if that's something they even have on their website, but I'll go check. Next up, I needed to organize my life when it comes to, I went down some more DOS rabbit holes about sound cards, but I'll talk about that later. You don't want to hear about a bunch of DOS sound card stuff, Sound Blaster 16s and Pros and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I started messing with my virtual machines and everything. I've got a Proxmox box. It's a mess, and because I just had a bunch of stuff, just as fast as I could. Like I need something to do this, so I'd throw up a Debian box or a Debian VM and just have it do stuff. And I never even messed around with a lot of the community scripts. So on Proxmox, this is something I really do think we should talk about more. Proxmox has these community scripts, and they basically install little Docker containers or Proxmox containers, LXC, whatever, on your Proxmox machine, and they're super simple. So it's like, okay, you want to get the Alpine Nextcloud right here. You just run this crazy script that you found on the internet right on your bare metal machine. Yeah. Anyway, this is a community project. So you can usually, if something's going on or something's weird, you can usually find out. But yeah, you got all these different things, even operating systems that you can install, and they're like little VMs. So this here says VM. This is an LXC container, VM. So you could just grab stuff here. I never used this before. I was doing everything manually in Proxmox, and that's just so much easier. Like ridiculous. What is Luma Wipe? We're gonna use that one until I get angry, but I'm gonna make the milliseconds 100. So yeah, that's I got a whole bunch of those things set up. I had a separate Debian VM just for Pi-hole, and over here on this, there's just a simple, super fast, super tiny Pi-hole thing. Just me. There we go, Pi-hole exporter. You don't need that. There we go. But this installs. It uses a fraction of the RAM. It starts up instantly with the Proxmox server. As soon as you turn it on, it doesn't have to, boot up the entire thing. As soon as Proxmox is on, this is on, which is exactly what I wanted. And that's one of the benefits of having these little LXC containers. As soon as you open up Proxmox, these things are booted up pretty much instantly because they're not full-on operating systems. It's nice. I replaced a bunch of the stuff I was running in Portainer with that. Did all that stuff. Next up, this is all stuff I did other than write the book. So I set up my own DDNS because I was using no IP for a while, and that allows you to have one free domain, and then every month they nag you and you have to go in and be like, yes, don't kick me off your service. So that got annoying. But over here, while I was browsing around, I saw a Cloudflare. Let me just some DDNS here. Sound like a dumb version of Johnny Bravo, I guess. We got Cloudflare DDNS. And what that does is it hooks up with your Cloudflare account, and then you can set up your config file as, where is it? Somewhere up here. Anyway, it'll tell you right there. You set up your config file to list off all the different domains that you want to have, forwarded to your different home services and stuff. And then you can use Nginx Proxy Manager, which is the one I use. It's a GUI. It's very easy to sling stuff all over, which allowed me to also install Navidrome, because I've had a problem for a while where I get on my phone and I don't have all my music and I get angry because there's always something I want to listen to that I just don't have on my phone. Because you can only fit so much stuff on a phone. I got a few things on there. This is my power amp right here. I got a few things on there, whatever. But I needed everything because I want everything. So I installed Navidrome and then set that up. And now here we go. We got Navidrome going. There we go. It's great. Long as I'm not driving through a tunnel, it should be just fine, or on an airplane. But on an airplane, I usually do audiobooks or work on writing the book or whatever else. Okay, what else have I done since then? So I got all that stuff set up, and then I organized my game library a little bit. You see we got all those games in the background. I've been meaning to measure a lot of those, so got some calipers here. How big is my head? All right, that's how big my head is. 126.79 millimeters. That's the size of it. There we go. Oh, look, it says oops. It doesn't say nothing. All right, anyway. So I got some of these things, so I start measuring these and get some protective cases for a lot of the games that are back there, because some of them are pretty special. Didn't turn on the clock. You see that one right there? Can you tell what that is? Now you can see a little bit better. Where's this blur coming from? Something's making it blur. But anyway, you can see that's what's over there. I need to get that one that got a case, but some of the other ones up there don't have cases. Maybe I got to make sure they're all put into cases and stuff. So yeah. All right, so I also worked on the game a bit. You know, whenever I do a bunch of stuff in the book, sometimes I'll go over and put some of that stuff into the game. And then I've also I donated some stuff to different places, different local charities. T440p, I threw OpenSUSE on there, donated that. I got another one, I threw Fedora in there, and then tried out my writing software, which I'm using a program called Babisco. It's awesome, but it doesn't work the way I wanted it to. It's just a, what do they call them, an Electron app. So yeah, they had the control scroll to zoom in and out of the work disabled for some reason, and that's baffling to me. So I went in and edited the some of the files to make that work. So now I've got my own version of Babisco, but I put that on to the laptop as well. I did a few other changes as well. I was like, well, I may as well edit this thing up the way I like it, even though it's not open source, but whatever. So I changed it up since it's an Electron app, and that works amazingly well on the Lenovo. And I like the keyboard on those Lenovo T440Ps a lot more than some of the newer laptop keyboards. So put the writing software on there. Anyway, my health's been not so good, but I think your health's not good too, because we all have headaches and forward head posture, don't we? Or is it just me? Am I the only one with headaches and forward head posture and stiff neck and all that kind of stuff? I think we all have that, right? So in the next video, I'm going to talk about, this has been a major issue in my life for years and years and years, and I'll talk about what I've gone through, because I don't like to really talk about this stuff normally, but I mentioned it on the forum, and everyone else is like, oh yeah, I have that same thing. I have aura on my left side or right side or whatever. I can't see out of it. I get migraines. I got ear ringing. I got neck problems. And I was like, oh God, all of the nerds have this, but not all of them have had, you know, the ability to go to Asia and have real doctors that are not just looking to like siphon as much money out of them as possible with, you know, symptom treating drugs that last for the rest of their life, and their situation never improves, but you know, they keep throwing money at, you know, whatever kind of drugs, because in America they're like, you can't be cured, but you can have these drugs forever. Just come back every week for the rest of your life. So we'll talk about that in the next video, because I think that you know, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing could probably help you. I've improved my situation by about 50%, and I'm much more alive now than I was several months ago when I was ready to just curl up somewhere in a corner and be done. It was bad. All right. So anyway, I'm here. You know, I've been talking to some people about keeping things going on the channel and maybe a news show, but I'm not really going to be doing too much when it comes to hardware. There's a couple more contracts I have, another gaming PC, a couple more NAS units that I'll do myself because they're contracts. After those contracts are done, I am done. That's it. But if you think you got what it takes to review whatever comes in, mostly these days it's like laptops, mini PCs, and that kind of stuff, because nobody has graphics cards anymore, nobody has components anymore, because 6 billionaires are ruining the world. Right there, that's what they need, right there. Yeah, if you think you've got what it takes to review that stuff, and you've had, you know, maybe some experience talking in front of a camera, let me know. Maybe you can get, you know, paid and get some stuff. You know, I've been talking to somebody else who wants to take over, but they're more into the marketing side of things. And I'm like, long as there's a credo, as long as it does the right thing, as long as we don't talk about a bunch of slop, and as long as I have final say on everything, maybe I'll consider having somebody else do some hardware videos. And then, you know, show up every now and then and do news and chat with everybody, maybe an inbox or something. You know, I don't see that as being something that I've ever disliked, but I kind of want to cut things out of my life that I dislike. So if you got what it takes, send me an email. Just put it to, send it to inbox@techsyndicate.com, and it'll get to me. Yes. All right, everybody. I will see you in the comments. How you doing? Let me know. Back in the day, Kevin, if you're watching, and he would do that and say, I'm loaded. Every time. This was when he was drunk, this was it. And then I'm loaded. But I guess I've just adopted that as a wipe in here. So Kevin, I'm stealing your drunk, I'm loaded as a wipe to go on to the next topic.